Hello and welcome to Tech Afrik on TOS Television Network, your digital first Pan-African news network. I am Merciful Ajinamo. On this program, it is my pleasure to bring to you informative, educative and entertaining content from the world of technology and how it affects our daily lives. Before we continue, here is our tech quote for the day. Yes, of course, security has become a necessity even though it can be sometimes inconveniencing, according to Martina Navratilova. On Tech Afrik today, our focus is social media security. We open our social media to a reminder or another about ways to secure your social media account with the increased use of social media for communication, brand monitoring, entertainment, media sharing, paid advertising, etc. Social media has become very important. While the benefits of social media are clear, there are risks to be wary of. According to the latest EY Global Information Security Survey, 59% of organizations had a material or significant incident in the past 12 months. There has been an incessant rate of social media scam activities across all social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, etc. I mean, if you're on social media, who isn't? You need to protect yourself against common social media security threats. Hackers in 2020 accessed Twitter accounts associated with the International Olympics Committee. They got in through a third-party analytics app. Even FC Barcelona was a victim of the same hack. There is also what is called phishing scams that pose security risk to your social media information. Because the goal of the scammer is to make you hand over passwords, banking details, or other private information. LinkedIn's latest transparency report notes that they took action on 33.7 million fake accounts in just 6 months, but more than 103,000 fake accounts were only addressed once members reported them. Just before I introduce my guest for this episode, please take a look at this report by Ife Onyekwere about cybersecurity.
Internet scam has been one of the problems that may never make way anytime soon, as long as the internet exists. Internet fraud, as some may call it, is a type of cybercrime fraud that makes use of the internet to trick victims out of money, properties, and inheritance. According to FBI's 2017 Internet Crime Report, the Internet Crime Complaint Center received about 300,000 complaints. Unfortunately, victims lost over $1.4 billion in online fraud in 2017. Anyone who uses gadgets as laptops, smartphones, or even connected to Wi-Fi can be a victim of the internet scam. These scammers have moved from facing individuals and moved to organizations as government agencies, house rent sites, football club, job sites, and even financial institutions. Over the years, these scams have been successful to an extent, as they have semblance with the real thing, therefore catching their victims off guard. Some Nigerians have had their share of the internet scam, either at final level or the point at which they were almost scammed. TOS TV took to the street to get these reactions.
Well, scam is very, very real. Some time ago, last month, I think, I was supposed to do a registration online, which I was required to make payments, and I had to put my account details, my card, debit card number, and all of that. It was legit. It seemed legit at first. But after I did all of that, I had to create accounts on this site. And when I finished, I was logged out of my own account, and then all I got was debit alerts all through the day. And I couldn't change my password because they have already done it more than 5 times. It doesn't exceed 5 times in a day. I had to wait till the next day before I was able to recover my account, of which my account was cleared.
As I received a call, actually before when I wanted opening my account, so my bank official told me about in case after your account opening, in case I receive any strange call, I shouldn't mind that it's fraud.
Yeah, I believe scam is real. I think sometime last year someone called me from the bank and was asking me to give him my bank details. And when I was asking him, he was saying I should give him my name and my BVN. So me having the knowledge about scam, so I decided to ask him whether it's a customer care, because banks don't use to call people like that to get their details.
One of the most popular experiences we get out of scam is that the scammers call individuals requesting for personal details. Let's hear how it has been for some Nigerians.
Yes, I've had one before. Like they sent a text message. They were like, that the bank has your account has problems, it has issues. That will send the last 4 digits of your account number, the last 4 digits of your ATM card number. So I went to the bank personally by myself to go and complain that what's wrong with why they send me text message. They say that it's not like that, they're not the one that sent it, that maybe it should be all these fraudsters, all these 419, that should be careful, something like that, that should report to the bank instead of sending it directly.
According to research, there are some vital ways to avoid being scammed. Do not open suspicious links, and phone calls asking for your personal details. Do not share your hotspot with unknown people. Do not share personal details on social media, and be careful of online requests for details or money.
Internet scam is unfortunately on the increase in the society today. This is a call for us to pay attention to our activities online, as our safety online is as more important as our physical safety. Ifi Onyekwere, reporting for TOS TV.
Unfortunately, I've also been a victim, so I entered into a challenge on Instagram. I won. Long story short, I sent a transportation fee and my prize gift never landed. Oops. Let's take a short break now, and when we return, I'll introduce my guest for the day. You're welcome back. It's still Tech Afrik on your digital first Pan-African network, and I am still Merciful Ejinamo. And our guest today is Austin Yusuf, an information security analyst. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us. So first of all, it is no cliche that the world is heavily reliant on technology, hence the use of social media. And recently there have been, series of, fraudulent attacks on social media accounts. So what do you see social media security as? What's your take?
Okay, first of all, I would like to attribute that as the growth in our digital population. Like, if you know, in any nation like Nigeria, they said we're about 200 million in population. They said it's more than. But do you know that the Nigerian digital population is over 1 billion already? Mm-hmm. An average Nigerian owns not less than 2 to 3 social media accounts. They multiply that. You see, there's going to be more security issue because a lot of brand is now relying on the digital population to sell their market to. Reason why cyber criminals are now targeting social media. And if you notice, a lot of attacks is now moving from the conventional attack you used to know, like those days you'll be hearing like something like someone is stalking an individual just because they want to attack the person. But now, there's now cyber stalking, the cyberbullying. So we're going to be seeing a lot of increase in these areas. So reason why the increase in recent increase in cyber attacks.
Okay, so like you said, the population, people are having 2 or 3 social media accounts. But I was going to ask, like, if we're having different accounts, is there something that can be done, to counter these attacks?
Okay, yeah. First of all, I think a lot of people just want to own this social media account. Some don't even know why why they need to have this social media account. I know a lot of people that have multiple Facebook user accounts, but they barely even remember the username, but they just want to have it for having sake. Now, if you want to have multiple social media accounts, let's take for example, I have Facebook, I have Instagram, I have Twitter, right? Now, I can decide, to say, a lot of people have issues with their password, and that's the first form of attack that maybe a cyber criminal wants to use against an individual that own any social media account. Now, first of all, if you use weak password, is an issue, is a security issue. Now, a lot of people tend to reuse password, meaning if I get your Facebook password, that means I have access to your Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Because why? A lot of people are having issues remembering multiple passwords. But I think they are hacked to this. Like I think I have not less than 50 accounts that I'm registered to, and I use different passwords. But I think I tend to use this kind of a phrase that can help me choose passwords like I remember for every of my account. So there's a security solutions to this.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about WhatsApp. You know, WhatsApp is one of the widely used platform of communication. Recently on Twitter, on the internet, people have come out to say, oh, with the upgrade, you know, WhatsApp is asking for you to upgrade so you can have access to, so they can have access to your information. You're like, everybody is not safe. There's some people were saying they have to leave the platform or not even upgrade because they don't want people to. Can you shed more light on that? Plus, people are talking about end-to-end encryption. Is this something that can, you know, salvage the situation, or is it even a problem in the first place?
I know you were coming to this, right? Because I know it generated a lot of heat back then when they just released that particular policy. Now, it's also a market strategy for another social media platform. Let's take, for example, when they released that particular policy, Telegram users grew over 1 million in 24 hours because they see it as a strategy to grow their own users because they say they have a better policy for users. Now, you talked about end-to-end encryption. End-to-end encryption is just like they don't have access to your communication. Mm-hmm. Now, what the policy was trying to tell you is that they will start issuing ad based on what you like, which is already happening, but a lot of people are just like scared of assenting to it already. Now, let's take, for example, you go to Google, search for a vintage shirt. I know you love vintage because guys, lately is a trending fashion for guys. Don't be surprised that if you Google about vintage shirt, the next time you go to your Instagram, vintage shirt ad will start popping up. I've read online where somebody was discussing about Pampers, and this guy is still a single guy just because he was having that conversation with his friend. And the next minute he went on Instagram, guess what? A Pampers advert was issued to this guy. So what are we talking about? It's already in place, but they just want you to assent to it. Now, when we're talking about assent, it's because a lot of people that take time to read that policy actually raise that issue. Many Nigerians don't read those policies. I can prove that to you. A lot of people install software and they just accept. I don't know, let me just, let's digress a bit. When you're installing any software on your laptop, have you ever taken time to read those policies? I just scroll down and just click I accept. Now, that is where you sell yourself out. Okay. So it's an issue. A lot of us don't even read those policies that guide all these things. So they are actually trying to tell you that, yes, this is what they want to do. And they don't want any legal issue against them. Because I think Facebook had issues in Europe and in European countries because of the GDPR compliance issue. Now in Nigeria, we have our own NDPR, that is Nigerian Data Protection regulation that is owned by NITDA, and they were supposed to enforce that. But you see that there are a lot of information abuse in Nigeria that they don't even enforce. So what Facebook was trying to do was just to make you assent to that policy so that when something happens, you can't go to court and tell them that why did you process my information this way? Of course, you know, everybody tends to do that, but once you have assent to that, if you take them to court, they'll say, sir, you actually signed this. It's just like you signing out a birthright without you knowing. That's what they're just trying to tell you.
You know, when this thing came up in South Africa, you know, they came up to say that they have policy, people should not be afraid. You have told us that this is normal, it's a normal process. So just to get you clearly, you're saying people should not, you know, jitter or have any fears. It's a normal process. They can go ahead and upgrade. And as long as they're accepting that thing, it means people have access to their information, but their information cannot be used against them.
Okay, I will say this again. What they're trying to do is they're trying to let you sign that particular new policy so that they can have access to it. I'm not saying, because I'm not you, you're not me. What might be right to me might be wrong for you. Now, if you go through that policy and you feel that, yes, I can go on with this, of course, then it's fine. It's fine. You can go ahead. But if I feel that, okay, I'm not cool with WhatsApp, I think I should move to either Telegram or Signal if I'm cool with their own policy. So I think it's dependent on individuals' decision. That's what I would say.
Oh, okay, you've made good points and valid points there. Can we talk a little about two-step verification? Every app you come up with, people are saying all over the internet, on Instagram, make sure you're two-step verified. Is that enough security?
Okay, first of all, a lot of people don't even understand what two-factor authentication is. Mm-hmm. Now, I will use your house as an example. In your house, how many doors do you have? Like before you enter a compound, you have a gate, right? Mm-hmm. Now, once anybody gets into your gate, they still need to knock the door to your main house before they get access to you. Before, what Facebook or most social media platforms used to have is just that gate. Now, once anybody passes through that gate, they get to you directly. That's what Facebook have. Now, two-factor authentication is another level of, another layer of security that was added to secure in an individual's account. Now, let me tell you this. A lot of people are not even doing that because they feel is more stressful. Now, the truth is function and security are not always friendly. The more security you tend to have, the more stressful it becomes for users. The more function you have and less security you have, the more friendly it is to users. But I think people should be concerned about their security first before you start talking about flexibility. Exactly. So two-factor authentication, I think, is very good. It's very good because if you have two-factor authentication on your WhatsApp, a cyber criminal cannot easily take over your account. Exactly. Because that two-factor authentication is another layer that I have to verify that, yes, I actually own this account, of which that two-factor authentication is tied to something that is peculiar to only you. Like for WhatsApp, they use your phone number. I know for Facebook, they also generate a token that they send to you. I know of Instagram. Even now, people now have a way of bypassing two-factor authentication, yes. Now, what we are now moving into now is the era of multi-factor authentication, where you have password, where you have two-factor authentication, then where you now have a passphrase, then where you now have another thing like security questions.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. So that is the level we are going into now. Multi-factor authentication is now in place. In fact, a lot of enterprise environment in Nigeria, like when you're talking of the fintechs and some larger enterprise in Nigeria, they use multi-factor authentication because these cyber criminals ain't sleeping.
So according to what you have said so far, what I get is it's possible to secure your account. Now, the question I have is, lastly, how is it still possible when you've done all these multi-factor authentication, two-factor, security question? Is it possible for your account to still be hacked?
Now, first of all, in the security chain, let me answer your question this way. In the security chain, the weakest link is the human.
The person,
yes.
The account holder.
Yes. Are you surprised? Now, this is it. There's what they call social engineering. Social engineering simply means the act of human hacking. Now, you're saying that all this thing is hard, I can't get all this thing, like I can't get your username, I can't get your passphrase. But what if I send you a phishing link and you actually impute everything for me?
What do you mean by phishing link?
Like, it's like a malicious URL that link to your social media account. Now, immediately you click on that URL and you fill in your username or password. It's being passed to the user in plain text. That is the cyber criminal in plain text. Because there is this kind of server they set up that will allow them collect your credentials. They call it a credential harvesting. Now, after they harvest your credentials, they can just go to the platform and log in. Simple as that.
So when I click into that URL, whatever I put in as my password can be accessed by the criminal. That's what you're saying?
Yes.
So in a nutshell, you should be careful about the URLs we click and whatever we enter on social media.
Yes. And also, let's digress a little bit from social media, but this is a major security concern that I would like everybody to know, every Nigerians to know, please, wherever you Africans generally like. There's a new trick now, setting up mobile application for your banks. A lot of you might be thinking it's very hard, but it's not hard. The banks have tried all their possible means to put all security they can put in place to save every of their customer, to secure every of their customer. But now they've gotten to this level where cyber criminals can easily get that through social engineering. Now, if you want me to do the analysis for you, how simple it is to do this, I can do that.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Now, you use Access Bank, right? Let's just assume you use Access Bank. Now, there's this form online that asks you that federal government is giving out a grant for COVID relief material. Now, everybody send the form out and everybody's putting in their password, username, and code. Now, you fill in your account number, you fill in your BVN, your personal details, that's your PII, that's personal identifiable information. Now, what I need to do is, since I'm the one that sets that form and I have those basic information that you feel I can't get into your account with, now what I will do is this. I will download the bank app that you're using. What do I need to set up a bank account for you? I need your account number. Then click on registration, right? Now, once I click on registration, for the bank to make sure that you are the one that is actually setting up this account, they send you a 2FA. That is a token. That is an OTP, one-time password, that we use to authenticate. Then that will now allow you to gain access to your account. Now, what they do is this. After they send you this, because you know that you fill that form, they will call you that, do you fill a certain form like this? They are from so federal government agency, and they actually call it to verify that you're the one. You tell them that, yes, you're the one. They will tell you that they are already processing your fund. Now, for them to be sure that you're the one, they are going to send you a code that is going to confirm that it's you, and your bank is going to send that to you. Can you quickly call that code for them? Now, ignorantly, you're going to call the code for them. What they just did, you just gave out your birthright. They have access to your account, increase your limit, and they could wipe out. If you have up to 5 million, they could move everything at once.
At the spot. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Mr. Austin. It's been an insightful conversation, I must say. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's Austin, an information security analyst. And I'm sure you've enjoyed every bit of the program because it was informative, educative, and entertaining as well. And before we go on, I will deal with the tech tip for the day. I bet some of you already use your phone's speech-to-text to detect text message or even emails. But did you know you can do same in Google Docs? It's free and it works surprisingly well. That's it on today's episode of Tech Afrik. Don't forget to stay updated on our social media platforms at TOS TV Network on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and also YouTube. Thank you for watching. Till I come your way next week, I am Merciful Ajinamo. Stay protected.